Kayıt.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Dr. Collins from Bilkent University Tourism and Hotel Management Department. And me and my students are here today to share our experiences from one of the senior projects of Spring 2020. I would like my students to introduce themselves before they start their poster presentation. Let's go.
Hello everyone, my name is Mustafa and I'm a student of Tourism Department. This is my 4th grade. Soon I'm going to be graduated, hopefully.
Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Beyza Yıldırım and I am the 4th grade student and I am happy to be a part of this research.
Hello everyone, my name is Halil Yalınkılıç. So even in these hard times, it was a pleasure to do this kind of research with my friends on a serious topic, and I'm really grateful to everyone who participated in this and contribute to our research.
Hi, my name is Mart. I'm 4th grade student and I'm so proud of being a participant of this project.
Okay. And as being your instructor, I know that you have completed this project during very hard time, COVID-19, but you have conducted a study on that as well. So it was a real-time experience for you. Now, if one of you share the poster, and then let's start giving our experiences and results of our study, how we conducted.
Of course. I hope it's clear for everyone to see right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay.
Completely clear.
So, then one of you can start the title of the research. What is the aim of the research?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so before going into the aim of the study, I would like to introduce you to our research, the catastrophe of COVID-19 on hospitality industry. So as we all know, this coronavirus COVID-19 had a huge impact in all of the world, and we wanted to conduct this research in order to see the effects, see how people got affected by the industry itself, the customers, the hotels, how did they cope with it, what precautions they took, and we would like to start with our aim of the study.
Yes. Okay.
I would like to talk about aim of the study. The aim of the study is to find out how coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, has affected the five-star hotel industry in Turkey. Before mentioning about significance of this study and our research questions, I would like to talk about COVID-19 in detail. COVID-19 is the disease caused by the new coronavirus that occurred in China in 2019 and quickly spread from person to person. COVID-19 has some symptoms, including cough, fever, shortness of breath, muscle aches, headache, and diarrhea. After the virus started to spread, experts forecasted that this pandemic, could be a similar situation to the outbreak of the SARS virus in 2003, because SARS virus was also a type of a coronavirus, and both viruses occurred in China. In the beginning of our study, we were mainly focused on results and effects of SARS, since we had limited information about COVID-19 at that time, and the cases were mainly seen in Asian countries. So the World Health Organization and governments warned people about this virus and suggested travelers to postpone or cancel their trips if it is possible, and to stay home. COVID-19 has created a global panic in the world. Face-to-face meetings, events, exhibitions, and sport activities have cancelled, and schools has closed down. Especially tourism industry as a whole has affected in a negative way. Hotels, travel agencies, and airlines have seen the instant effect of this pandemic, unfortunately. This disease was confirmed to have reached Turkey on 11 March 2020, and after a man returned to Turkey from Europe.
Yes,
there were,
and Beyza, very good explanation. Just to talk everything in our limited time.
Yes.
Then we started that study in actually February. We decided in February.
Yes.
And would you tell the research questions?
So it was, we wanted to know the immediate effects of COVID-19 to hotel industry, precautions taken by hotels in Turkey, and possible future effects and possible precautions if the virus spreads more. So we wanted to conduct this study to learn about this coronavirus issue and its effect on hotels as hoteliers of the future.
Yes. Yes, very good. So what you have talked about made our study very significant. We needed to have some research on that topic.
Yes.
Okay, which one of you would start with the methodology? Which methodology we chose?
Cover the methodology. I would like to start to talk about it, the context of study actually. This study was conducted in Turkey with 5-star hotels in different cities, namely Ankara, Istanbul, Bodrum, and Bursa. 4 students, we interviewed with 8 hoteliers from different hotels in different cities. And we had the interviews, unfortunately, we had the interviews online because it was already, forbidden to go out. We made it online or with a phone or with a platform. We couldn't have them face to face, unfortunately. While we are investigating the effects of coronavirus, actually we were having the effects ourselves as well. It was a bit hard, a different experience for us as well. And we are in the homes, everybody is in their home, and the hotels are closed or open, which I'm going to talk about a bit later. And this is a qualitative method. Is used in industry research. And I also want to talk about the participants of the study. As you can see, the demography table. Some hotels are open, some are closed. And Conrad, Hilton, and Raffles, Mandarin, those are the hotels. And data were collected from the staff who were working in those hotels during COVID-19 period. And as you can see from the table, it is detailed, the participants. Anonymous in the results allies were used as well. And yes. I also want to talk about the instruments of the study. As I said, this study employed qualitative research methodology. They were collected through online interviews to find out the impact of the COVID-19 in hotel industry in detail. And the interview protocol had 2 parts. One, a demography of the participants, such as departments they work, as you can see, and also age, gender. Second, questions exploring the situation during COVID-19, such as precautions taken and suggestions for the future, which my friend's gonna talk about. And also, actually, the interview protocol was prepared in Turkish, in order to have a language barrier during interview, but we also translated in English some parts, especially the quotations we translated in English. And data collection process, data were collected between 5th of April to 28th of April 2020. I think the period we have got the data was the crucial time, the crucial period, because as you know, the worst impacts of coronavirus was in that previous, in that previous month, the April. And for example, the number of dead people were too high. And researchers used their personal contacts to reach the participants in hotels. First, researchers asked participants if they would like to contribute to study, of course. And if they say yes, then we have them in our study. And each interview took approximately 30 minutes. And data analysis. Data were analyzed by using qualitative data analysis techniques, as I said before. And then we grouped the data in different categories. The categories are reasons why hotels are open or closed, effects of COVID-19 in hotel industry, precautions taken by hoteliers, and suggestions to overcome the negative impact of COVID-19. And of course, while we're doing this interviews, or also this study, we also faced with some limitations, which I also want to talk about.
Mustafa, can we leave it to the end? If you cannot have the time, it is a very good explanation. Thank you very much. Now, who can talk about the summary of the results?
Yeah, I would like to summarize and mention about our suggestions about our project. And the new type of coronavirus seen in Wuhan, China, has spread to more than 90 countries, including countries such as big European countries like Britain, France, Germany, Italy, and Greece. The spread of coronavirus emerging in China to the world, and the World Health Organization's announcement of a pandemic created a panic in all countries. While the world is looking for...
Yes, you're right. And then what were the results of our study? Yeah. Anybody can
Okay, so I would like to continue from the results. And as we have conducted the study and continued with the interviews, we have learned that the hotel industry had a big impact on how to perceive the industry itself. That's because the travel industry and the airports got the lockdowns. The countries were in panic. The citizens didn't know what to do. People were afraid to go outside because they didn't know how was the virus. But as we have talked with the interviews, we have grouped the results into 3 categories. We analyzed the results from the hotel perspective, the employee perspective, and the customer perspective. Well, first of all, for the hotels, as we have interviewed with the interviewees, most of them said that the board of directors and their managers were contacting them about this virus and how they're handling it. If the hotel is open, how they would like to continue the business. If the hotel is closed, when it's going to be open, or is it going to be ever open in a short term or in the long term, how it's going to be conducted. The salaries of the employees. Well, let's start for the hotels first. As you can see from the poster, one of our interviewees said, as for the hotel, I think the hotel did a good job with closing the hotel in a short period. They could have extended the time which will...
Yes. Halil? Halil, is there a problem with the sound?
He's back.
Yeah. Okay.
He's muted, I think. We don't hear you.
Okay, well, one of you can continue while Halil can handle the problem. Mert, would you like to continue with the results?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, as a result, we are looking for what will happen in the near future about our industry, like how will we recover, and how many months or how many years we need to recover our industry. And also, most important thing about this virus and the recovery process, what will happen about our how can I say, habits. As you know, in this industry, as a guest and as a employees, we have a lot of habits.
Yes.
And after this lockdown, we have to change a lot of things about our industry as a guest and as a employees. There is some announcement by different organizations like World Health Industry and World Tourism Organization, and they are trying to predict something about near future, but there is nothing exact actually about the future, and we will see what will happen by experiencing it.
Okay. So would you expand from here as the researchers of this study? What are your suggestions? Anybody can.
Actually, we have 3 different suggestions, and one of them I want to try explain one of them. In order to recover from these painful times, hotels must understand the importance of the tourism in these hard times. And whether they are open or not, the impact of this virus will be tremendously without any arguments. The collapsing of the economies in the world, I think this point is so important because nowadays we have a dilemma. We are thinking about the world economy and world health. And we have to find some points we can provide balance.
Yes.
And the collapsing of economies in the world, the unemployment rates, and the general image of tourism in the short term will eventually convert the industry into a field we have never seen before. However, as hoteliers, we should come up with the answers before we get any ration into our hands, and this ration probably will take maybe more than 1 year, and it means we cannot how can I say, we cannot
we shouldn't be in a hurry. Huh?
Yeah, we cannot adjust everything according to ration.
Yes, since it is the concern of the health,
exactly,
which is very important. Okay, thank you very much, Mart. Is there anybody who would go on another suggestion?
I can go.
Yes, yes.
So, there is no doubt that the effect of the coronavirus, or in other words, the harm or the damage, because it's certain that it's damaging us. It's a bad effect. I want to say it like that. Of the coronavirus is atrocious. It's actually really bad, since from the spread of the virus, the effects and the damage on economies, industries, and people's lives have been tremendously increased all around the world, no matter how small or big the economies are. I mean, as a country, in Turkey, for example, people lost their jobs, or some shops are closed, and people couldn't get their money to earn. People couldn't earn their money to live their life properly. So it's actually really bad. It's after this coronavirus, I think it's gonna be like there's gonna be like a huge economic crisis, which we are already living in that economic crisis. But after while we're investigating this study, the effect of the coronavirus, I think most of the people also noticed or realized that how important the tourism industry is, because while we're standing our homes all the time, people are like going crazy. I mean, for example, me, I didn't go out for like months, and it's really hard sometimes to breathe inside because, you have to do something. This is not the way that we live. It must be, we need to be out there, and I
So
think
once again, Mustafa, once again, everybody realized how important traveling,
yes,
tourism, hotel are. Okay,
yes.
that was great. Halil, sorry about a few minutes ago, we couldn't hear your voice. You started the results and you were talking about a quotation. Would you like to expand on that?
Yes, of course. I think my voice is clear now.
Yes, yes, no problem.
Okay. So as I was saying in the results, we have grouped the results into three categories for hotels, employees, and customers. Well, for the hotels, as we have interviewed with the interviewees, one of them said that as for the hotel, I think the hotel did a good job with closing the hotel in a short period. They could have extended the time which we would still be open, and eventually employees could also be infected with the virus without even us realizing it. So to expand on this, most of the employees we interviewed this were pretty cooperative, but they were also kind of confused with how the process will move on to them, because some of the interviewees, like board of directors or their managers, didn't contact about how they will conduct their business or how they will proceed with whether they are going to close the hotel or are they going to keeping it open, or if they're going to receive their salary in the preceding months. But in order to, well, to expand this quotation, most of the hotels we interviewed said that the board of directors sent a clear message that we are going to take immediate precautions, and we are not going to sit idle waiting for this virus to be eradicated by itself. We are going to protect our employees, customers, and we will do anything in order to make the industry less be feared.
Yes, so in short, at the very beginning, even if there is the shock in the sector, later on there was a quick response to what they are going to do. That was very good. I don't know how much time we have, Mart. Can you guide us for that? So we should have the time management. Mart, I cannot hear you, Mart.
Actually, we have unlimited time. I can record
okay.
as much as
So
possible.
there is no problem. I was worried about if it is an hour, so our talk will finish. Okay. So far, you have talked about the research briefly. If you want to expand any stage of the study, we can go on right now. For example, Mustafa, you were talking about the limitations of the study,
Yes.
and I stopped you. Now, what are your suggestions for the future researchers?
For the future researchers, I mean, this study, as I said, qualitative methods has been used in this research, but quantitative methods of research can be done, I think, in the future, or the effects of the coronavirus can be compared in different countries as well. Not in Turkey. We made the Turkey, for example, but also we can have, information about some other countries as well. For example, how tourism industry is affected in America or in Italy or Greece. These studies can also be done, I think, for the future. And for the limitations, Of course, as I said, we're facing the hard times all around the world. People are the same actually. And the sensitive time of COVID-19, precaution time which limited to reach enough number of hotels, and not being able to face-to-face interview, lack of time, lack of interviewing experience, lack motivation in the society, because all of the people are mostly affected by the coronavirus, and sample size, and lastly the possible biased opinions. Those were the limitations of our study.
Yeah, yeah. Mart, earlier you were talking about, and I didn't know that we have unlimited time, so I stopped you while you were talking. Now, would you like to expand what you were talking earlier?
Actually, I can extend this suggestion parts. I want to say something. During this project, we learned we should obey government's rules, because we could see easily what's the differences between the country which is not obeying the government rules, not taking this coronavirus seriously, and the other part, we could see the country which is so strict with these rules, and which country has knowledgeable citizens about this kind of problems. And most of them, I mean, responsible countries solved this coronavirus easily.
Yes.
But on the other end, some undeveloped country, actually even USA, which is so developed country, they couldn't solve yet this problem. And briefly, I can say we should follow the rules, obey the rules. That's all my suggestions.
And take responsibility. Yes.
Take responsibility.
Can I also add something about this suggestion?
Sure.
Okay, so even for Italy, one of the first countries who got infected by this COVID-19 and had the huge impacts with the death numbers and the infected people numbers. Well, at first, when this coronavirus were spread in their country, they didn't take too much precaution. People were still doing their business, traveling, and people were outside. Even with the government's instructions, people didn't care. Yeah. Because it's not something that's too wide in Europe to have a infection, have a disease, so that you would be ripped of your job and you couldn't go outside. We could only see these examples in the early stages of the medieval age, like 13th century, in like the Black Plague in Europe. But as we have seen in Italy, the death numbers increased in a rapidly amount, and then people saw that it's a really serious matter to be really taken care of, and then people started to take precautions, didn't go outside, and wear masks in public places. So that for developed countries, we can say that the precautions were not enough by the citizens, not the government itself.
Yeah, okay. So while doing that research, actually, you have seen the situation from a different angle as well. As Beyza said, when we started the project, you had to do the review of literature, and then we looked at the only literature was the similar one, the SARS. And now we see that there are lots of differences between SARS and COVID-19. So you, young researchers, looked at the situation from a different angle as well. So thank you, all of you, putting that together with that limitations, actually, limited time, actually lack of motivation, as you said. I'm talking about you as well. sometimes your motivations were down because of living in this situation and trying to do the project, but you did a good job. If you want to add anything from the poster or from your experience, we can talk 1 minute each, then we can close the session.
Okay.
Do you want to talk?
I actually want to add something. I just like a social message I want to give right now. Well, I think you know none of us have this experience before. Like we didn't live in a society with a pandemic before, and it was like really hard for everyone. As a suggestion, I want to say that governments or the people, we have to unite as one to decrease the harm, and that's the most important point, I think.
Yes, thank you, Mustafa. Anybody else want to add? Yes, Beyza.
I would like to thank my teammates for their hard work and for their time. Thank you.
Thank you, Beyza. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And one last
Yes,
thing. Thank you. So as Beyza said, thank you to all my teammates who participated in this project and who gave their time and dedication. Also, one thing to point out is that we are in this together, and we will be in this together. I just wanted to say that even in these hard times, thank you for everyone for supporting me mentally and financially.
Okay. Mart, do you want to add?
I can just say being individual is not a good thing, especially in this kind of hard times. And nowadays, many world leaders talking about being individual, closing their borders. But this is not a precaution to beat hard times. We have to be together. We have to fight against all bad conditions together.
Yes. Thank you, Mert. And again, I would like to thank all of you. Yes, you study the subject in senior project, but senior project is not only studying a subject. Senior project means working as a team. And you did a great job to complete the study. I wish you luck. I know that most of you will graduate and you will go to the sector. Now you have that crisis time. I believe that you are all strong when you go and start working. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.